Okay, I think I'm live. I gotta tell ya, Facebook does not make it easy sometimes to do this. Oops, clicked a button. Where did I go? There we go. Okay, alright. Alright, give me a second also to pull this up on my phone because I'm not sure about seeing comments on that. So, hold please. No, I don't want to. I just want to watch. Here we go. Okay. Oh, and it tells me that I'm in order. Okay. If you're here, thank you. I have not gone live in an event like this in well over a year, and they've changed a lot of stuff, so bear with and thank you. Okay, if you make a comment, I will try to see it, but I'm not going to make promises. Sorry. Okay. Thank you for being here. Um, I extended the event time so that hopefully the Facebook Live should stay good for a while. I was afraid that if I had it set just for the hour, that then you wouldn't be able to go back into the event. In any case, I intend to download this and I can share it again to my actual Facebook page or my YouTube channel. So if you can't stay for the whole time or if you're concerned about needing to watch a replay, great. Um, so my intent with this, and my notes are over here, so I will be looking off to see them. Okay, so my intent with this was to talk about how overwhelmed everyone is currently. There's a lot going on in our personal lives, in our families, friends, the city that we live in, the state, the country, the world. It's very overwhelming what's going on, and I'm not going to get political, but no matter where you sit, it's a mess, right? It's a mess. I wanted to talk about how to ease some of that overwhelm, how to calm some of that chaos. And it's not just about learning how to be calm, though that is a lot of the point. It's also learning how to expand our capacity to hold what's coming at us and not go under, to stand, to bend a little bit, but not break. You want to learn how to not crumble so easily. Calmness is good, and calmness is a goal, but nobody that I know anyway can walk around completely calm all of the time. We're going to have ups and downs. We're going to have things hit, we accept it, we deal with it, we breathe through it, whatever, and then we go on. When we don't have a whole lot of capacity, every little thing coming at us is going to cause us to right? So instead, we want to have it come in and go, okay, and then go back out. We need to know that emotions hit in waves, and when they hit, it takes about 90 seconds for an emotional impact to go through. You're going to flare up in anger, you're going to flare up in fear, even happiness. It's got like a 90-second cycle. This is not just me stating this, this is actual fact. But it's got like a 90-second cycle. And sometimes if you remember that and you ride the wave, you won't feel so overwhelmed and you can return to calmness and peace faster, which is great, but also learn how to build your capacity to handle whatever comes at you and not go under. There are inadvertent ways that we add to our own overwhelm, and I want to talk about some of those too. The first one is being empathic, and I know that that's probably woo-woo word for some of you. Basically, it means you can walk into a room and feel what's going on, and who hasn't done that? You walk into a room and everybody in the room is grouchy or angry or tense over something. They're not saying anything to you, but you can tell just by the way that they feel they're uptight and they're unhappy. That's just being empathic. You're sensing the room. You walk into a room and everybody's excited and happy. And again, they may not even be your people. You might not even be there to meet those people, and you don't have to talk to them or anything, but you can tell just by the way they're sitting there sometimes how they feel. That's empathic. The issue is when we take on other emotions, when we take someone's emotions that are not ours to carry and we try to carry it for them, even if it's a stranger. You know, how many times have you been in, well, I'll give you an example that I had. There was one time I was in the waiting room. Chris, my husband, was in surgery, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I saw a woman, and I had seen her in the waiting room, and she's in the hall and she's crying. And in a surgery waiting room, that's not a good thing. I chose to walk over and say, "Can I do anything?" And she said no. And I said, "Can I give you a hug?" And she said yes. And so I hugged her, and I just held her for just a couple of minutes there, patted her on her back, asked her was she alone. She said yes, but she had family coming. And I said, "I'm sitting over here. If you need anything before they get here, you just let me know." But then I didn't carry her grief and pain with me. I didn't keep it tucked up and make me feel anxious and upset and worried. I had enough worry over my own situation. I couldn't carry hers too. And that's what I mean. Don't take on someone's emotions if it's not yours. You can love them, be sympathetic, hug them, and wish them well, but don't carry it. When we do that, we overwhelm ourselves. Another way is we don't set boundaries. You need to learn to say no to other people when they are in their overwhelm and they want you to come, I don't know, fall apart with them. You don't have to do that, especially if you're struggling in your own. You know, I could have sat with that girl, and I would have if she had needed me to, but I wouldn't have made her pain mine. I wouldn't have cried with her. Well, I'm a crier, so maybe I would have. I don't know, but you see what I'm saying? You need to learn to set boundaries. Don't let someone else's needs take priority over yours. Yes, we want to be of service to others. We want to be Christian, but that doesn't mean driving yourself into the ground. You do need to take care of yourself. So learn to set boundaries and hold them. Other people will be uncomfortable. They're going to have to get over that. That's their problem, not yours. It is not your problem to make them comfortable. It is your problem to allow them to grow to make themselves comfortable, and maybe send them to a teacher or a friend or a book or whatever. Set boundaries with your children and your spouses. Don't let them drain you either. And yes, kids and husbands and spouses need to be taken care of, but they also need to be allowed to take care of themselves. And your children can start to do that very early on. And I've said this in other places, but I don't know of any child who has actually died from waiting for mom to get up and make their snack, or learning how to make their snack themselves. You know, they can do it. They can also learn to entertain themselves. And I'm not saying be rude and not ever give your children time. Obviously, you need to do that. But you can teach them, I'm in the middle of something, I'm going to finish it, and then, unless it's an emergency, obviously. But you get what I'm saying. So set boundaries with other people, because otherwise that is a way that you overwhelm yourself. And also, you overwhelm yourself when you're not allowing yourself to rest. The physical body needs rest. Even God rested, right? He had a day where it was like, okay, everybody take a break. It's not healthy for you physically, emotionally, or physiologically to not rest, to not allow yourself, to not give yourself permission. You don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to excuse it. You don't have to oh, well, I've worked really, really hard. If you need to rest, sit down and do it. You can do that by reading, walking in nature, or just sitting there with a cup of coffee or a cup of hot tea and not even focusing on anything. That is a way of letting everything rest. And we're going into a very germy time of season. Not letting your body rest is a really good way to tank your immune system, and you will find your body forcing you to rest if you don't voluntarily give it to it. So those are things to think about. Now, I'm going to offer you a bunch of ways that I have found helpful to deal with the overwhelm in my life. For those of you who might not know, I am the caretaker of my husband, who is medically very fragile. We have a lot of back and forth to Dallas, which is about 7 hours from where we live. And for example, in August, we went down for what we thought was a 3-day trip, and we wound up being there for a month with him having to have a couple of surgeries. That can be very overwhelming if I let it. Yes, I have to get overwhelmed and do my oh no, oh no, oh no in the beginning, right? I tell him, let me have my fit and then I'll be fine. But I've built a big capacity over the years. So, okay, that's basically what I want to help you with. So, what I have to offer are things that I have found work for me, and I want to share them, and hopefully they will work for you. Now, the first one, stay with me here. I promise I'm not going to preach, and we're not going to have an altar call, but the biggest thing that I have found is a connection to God, higher power, source, your favorite word of choice, but something that is bigger than me, something outside of me, something that I can connect to and rely on. I don't believe that God is a big vending machine in the sky where you're like, please, may I have some more? And he's just going to drop things in your hand, right? I do think that we are responsible for taking care of ourselves and making things happen here. But I find that when I am connected more, I see more. When I am really struggling and I'm on the edge of a breakdown and I don't even know what to do. Connecting, and I connect by praying, and I just say, I need to feel your comfort. I need to feel like I'm not alone in this. And imagine, if you will, whenever you meet someone and you start talking to them and they instantly understand you. They know you. They get you. They hear you. They see you. And you know that the person, they get you. That's the way it is for me. I can say things to God that I don't say to anyone else. And I know that he's okay with what I say. Even my anger, I can bring that to him. No matter what's going on, I feel like I can do that. And in my darkest moments, I feel like I'm seen, I'm heard, I'm not alone. And there's like, how when you see someone and you don't know what to say to them, you're concerned about them, but you don't have words. You just walk up and you just put your hand on their shoulder. You just touch them and you pat. I feel that way. To me, that helps with my overwhelm. I don't feel alone. And when we feel alone, sometimes it's very hard to deal with overwhelm and chaos and grief. When I'm connected also, I notice things more. When you are alone and feeling, alone, because I can't think of another word, because, sometimes the brain, she doesn't work. You're closed down. You're locked down. You're not able to see the good because you can't do it. But when you feel like someone is walking with you through your struggle and you are a little calmer about that, you tend to see the good. You see what's out there. Opportunities come up that you're like, oh, maybe this will help. People come into your life, just random people walking through that you may not have ever noticed when you were locked down. Things like that. Sorry, like I said, the brain doesn't always work. And this is very important to me, and sometimes the more important it is to get across a point, the less I can say it. But basically, find a connection to a higher power. Some of you I know have been church hurt, and I'm very sorry for that. And if you would ever like to talk to me about that, I would love to help you find a way around that and some peace and some resolution so that you can feel more connected to God, higher power, whatever. That's important. In that line, another thing that helps is to pray or meditate. Prayer can be meditation. Meditation can be prayer. I kind of think that they're interchangeable. You're in a focused, relaxed state. If it's a prayer, just let it flow out of you. Don't try to censor your words. Just let it flow out of you. If you're meditating, you can just sit quietly and try to let the peace surround you. Now, some of us were not built to sit on a cushion and say the little words that they say when they meditate and have a very quiet mind. I'm not one of those. So, my sister taught me active meditation because that's how it was taught to her. You can go on a walk and meditate. Allow the brain to engage in keeping the body safe as you're walking around, so you're not tripping and stumbling and falling down, but then let that part of the brain that chatters at you be quiet and just go through the woods that way or on a trail, whatever. You can do that. You can journal, and I think that there is something I have never liked to journal, but this is something that I have started doing, and I find it very helpful and beneficial for dealing with overwhelm. I pour it out onto paper. I get it all out of me. When it's out of me, it's not in me, cluttering me up. Wasn't it Shrek? The green ogre who says better out than in? That's true for many, many things. And words and emotions are another one. You don't want them to become stuck. Going back to that emotions flow in and out in like 90 seconds, when you don't allow that cycle out, it becomes trapped in your body, and it can cause all kinds of emotional and physical issues later on down the road. It's better out than in. Journaling is one way to process it. If you don't think you can handle an emotion when it hits you, grab some paper and some pen and just start writing. One of the most clearest, easiest way is I don't even pick the pen up. Every word is connected. It's like a flow state, right? And you are just writing. You don't worry about crossing your T's, dotting your I's. You're just getting it all out, and it starts out nice and neat, and towards the end my hand is just scrawling, but it's coming out of me, which is the point. And when I'm done, I feel less overwhelmed. My daughter Alsini does art journaling, so she's not going to write, but she will pour out her emotions or her overwhelm or anything else that she is processing in art, in just a journal. I think I have one, but I couldn't tell you where it was, so I probably shouldn't get distracted trying to find it, right? This is something that I should have thought about before I started. There we go. I did find it, right? I made this cover, right? You just dump it all out. So I've got some words written. I've got some art pieces. They don't have to be great. Whoops. They don't have to be great. Now, Altani's, hers is great, but she's an artist. I'm not, right? So but it felt good to get it out. So you could try journaling like that. Just get some paint and paper and get it out. Okay? That will help deal with the overwhelm. Drink some water. Studies have shown that when our bodies are dehydrated, our brains are dehydrated. When our brains are dehydrated, they don't think as well. When you are not thinking clearly, you are not making the correct decisions. When you are not in your right mind, whatever that means for you, you're not processing correctly. Water helps. Breathing helps too. So you want to make sure that you breathe. But everybody knows, most people know that because it's been a big talk about making sure you're taking in enough breaths. Box breathing, which is like breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4, and you repeat that again until it brings you calm. So I'm not really going to go into the breathing, but a lot of people miss the hydration point. And we all hear that we should drink plenty of water for our physical body, but I'm telling you, your mental body, your brain, and your emotions want you to drink water too. So even if you have never drunk water, but you've always been like, oh, I should, this is another reason to. And if you don't drink water at all and you struggle with being irritable and angry and chaotic and overwhelmed really, really easily, then let this be your call to drink enough water. Speaking of, I'm going to drink some because my mouth is getting dry. Now, I'm a certified aromatherapist, which means I get to play with all the essential oils. So obviously, I'm going to tell you about essential oils too. We have an area in the brain, and I don't remember all the details. It's not important, but the essential oil molecules go in through the nose into that region of the brain, and they cause a reaction, and oftentimes that reaction is an emotional as well as a physical one. So I suggest oils that help calm the emotions. There's many out there. Any of the citrus oils are going to be very beneficial for your mood. Frankincense is one of my absolute all-time favorites for making sure everything is running smoothly in the brain and what's going on. The wood oils give you a sense of confidence and stability, and when we are feeling overwhelmed and the world is very chaotic, that's important. We want to feel very stable and secure in who we are and where we have our feet planted. So any of the wood oils are good for that. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but if you ever want to talk essential oils, hit me up because I would love to tell you and teach you more. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, an easy way to deal with the chaos going on in your life and how to build capacity, is tapping, which is something that I also offer. It's emotional freedom technique, and it is a way of tapping on specific meridian points on the body that allow you to process and release emotions and other things that are overwhelming and causing you chaos. It's for any situation that's going on, and it's very easy to do. You cannot do it wrong. I promise you're not going to hurt yourself. It's safe for everyone. It has even been used clinically for soldiers suffering from PTSD, trauma victims. It's very safe and nurturing and calming. Now, if you don't remember anything else about tapping, remember this point. So you have the long collarbone here, and you find where it comes in, you have another dip right here, right? If you find the point where those meet and drop just a little bit, there's a point right here. If you just tap that point has actually been scientifically studied, and tapping it will lower cortisol, which is the stress hormone in the body, and it will help get you out of the fight, flight, fawn, or freeze response, which is what most of us go into when we are handled something that we don't know how to handle or don't want to handle, or it's just too much for us to handle. So tapping here, even if you don't say words, even if you don't do anything else, just tapping on that point until you feel you start to calm down, that's good. And this is building your capacity. Remember, I talked about at the beginning, build your capacity. This is one way to do it. You don't let it get to the point where you have to sit down and break down and be unable to function. You recognize the hit coming towards you, you accept it, and you start tapping, you start breathing, you start drinking water, you start using oils, you start praying. All of that builds capacity. I want to lead you in an easy tapping exercise. This one, because it's for everyone who's watching, and it's not personalized and it's not specific, will be very general. If I say something that does not sound like you, then you don't have to say it. You can either choose your own words or just don't say anything at all. You can tap along with me. I'm going to say a phrase and give you time to repeat it. Now, there'll be a lot of repetition. That's one of the ways it works. Use that as a springboard for your own chaotic when you're having it, that you don't have to remember a big long string of words. You can just say the same phrase again and again and again, and it's going to help. So there's several different points. There is one under the arm. I struggle with my left arm, so we're not going to use that point, and that's fine for this. I'm going to adjust my camera. You see my giant hands? Oh. Okay, so that you can see me a little bit better. Let's tap. We're going to tap through some negative things first. So you're going to feel it rising up with inside of you. I want you to hang with me. It's okay. I'm not going to let you stay there. If you feel too much rising up, tap this point instead. Just breathe through it. Okay? When we tap all the negative out, we're going to tap some good positive stuff in. I'm going to take a sip of water. If you have some water next to you, I'm going to encourage you to drink some too. If you have any essential oils near you, because I did say in the thing, bring your favorite essential oil, choose one that makes you feel good. You don't have to worry about its actual impact upon your body. If it, by that I mean, someone says, oh, well, this one's good for this emotion, this one's good for that emotion. That's all well and good. And maybe you say, well, I can't use this one because it's not listed in there. That doesn't matter. If it makes you happy to smell it, it's a good essential oil for you to use. So, choose an essential oil that you like the smell of. And if you're using two of them, like I am, I'm using orange and frankincense. I really like the way these smell. These together, that's really lovely. But if you're using two, you can hold them together and swirl them. And just take a couple of deep breaths in. You don't have to apply it to get the benefit. Sometimes just smelling them is enough, and sometimes it's more than enough, and it's all that you need. So just smell. Okay. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm very overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. There's a lot of chaos in the world right now. There's a lot of chaos in my life right now. And it's overwhelming me. And I'm overwhelmed. I'm really struggling. I don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's being allowed. I don't understand why people are being hurt. I don't understand why I'm being hurt. I don't understand. I'm overwhelmed. I just want to cry. I'm so frightened. It's such chaos out there. And I can't see the end of it. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared what's going to happen. And I'm just so overwhelmed. I just want some peace. But I don't think I can find it. I'm not sure it's possible. And that makes me overwhelmed even more. I'm so overwhelmed. So much chaos. So much ugliness. So much frightening me. So much violence. So much unreasonableness. It shouldn't be this hard to fix things. Life should not be this hard. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm frightened. I'm scared. I can't see a way through it. I can't see a way out of it. I don't know how it's going to end. I don't have faith it will end nicely. I'm suffering. Other people are suffering. Women and children are suffering. It's not fair. And I'm so overwhelmed. And I'm just one person. I don't think I can do very much. And that overwhelms me. My own situation is bad. And I'm so overwhelmed. I'm not at peace. I can't find peace. I'm just so overwhelmed. So overwhelmed. I'm going to honor that. I'm going to honor my feelings. I'm going to honor what I see. I'm going to honor my pain. I'm going to honor other people's pain. I see the world. I see my life. I see the overwhelm. And maybe I can't fix it. But maybe, just maybe, I can learn to calm my system. I can learn to find some peace. I may not know what that looks like. And I may think that Catherine's crazy for telling me to do this. But I'm going to trust that maybe it will work. Maybe drinking water will help. Maybe essential oils will help. Maybe feeling silly while I tap will actually wind up helping. Maybe I can connect to God. I'm not asking Him for miracles. I just want some peace. I just want to feel like I'm not alone. I want to feel like someone gets me. I just want to feel safe. Just a small sliver of safe. I'm going to allow myself to feel safe. I'm going to allow myself to accept calmness. How can I be calm when there's so much pain in the world? How can I be at peace when there's so much unrest everywhere? Because I'm human. And I'll go under if I don't rest. Making my pain and chaos worse doesn't help anyone. I'm going to find some peace. I'm going to allow some peace. When I'm calmer, I think clearer. When I'm rested, I can give more. When I'm not strung out on pain and misery, my brain works better and it gives me answers. I'm allowed to rest. I'm allowed to find peace. I'm allowed to be calm. I give myself permission to rest. I give myself permission to have peace. I'll still get overwhelmed, but I accept I'm building my capacity to handle it. I'm going to trust that I'll be okay no matter what. I'm going to trust that when I'm calm, when I model calm for others, when I help them find their calm, whatever that looks like, that I'm making their life better. And I make my life better when I help others. But I'm starting with me. I'm finding my calm. I'm building my capacity. I'm remembering to breathe and drink water. I'm remembering to do what I need to do. And then I will help others. And I will find peace. They will find peace. And the world one day will find peace. But it starts with me. Okay. Take a deep breath in. Put your hands here and just hold them. I hope this helps you. It's so overwhelming, but if we get caught up in the swirl, if we allow ourselves to get drawn into the whirlpool and in the chaos and in the maelstrom, we can't help anyone. We can't help ourselves. So start by finding your peace, your calm, learning how to take care of yourself, giving yourself permission to take care of yourself, opening your eyes for others to see ways that they can help. Okay? Just words. Yeah? Basically, take care of yourself. Find your peace. Find your calm. If you need me, please don't hesitate to talk, to reach out. Sorry. Words. It's my brain. It is what it is. Okay. So, if you need me, if you want to talk, if you want to figure out anything else, if you just need somebody to get you, I'm really good at listening. I have been overwhelmed so many times. I know pain, I know chaos, and if you just want somebody to just listen to you and say, I understand, let that person be me. At any time, any day, you can reach out. Thank you for being here live. Thank you if you've watched it this far on the replay. And for those of you who have stayed the whole time, I deeply appreciate you. I'm going to close for now. Yep. Checked my list. That's all of it. But I'm going to close for now. And again, I'm here for you if you need me. And I'm going to say, yep, I found it. Remember I said at the beginning that Facebook had moved stuff around and I didn't know how to start this video? It took me a while to figure out how to end it. Alright, friends. Thank you for being here.